Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. Today we have a breaking news story coming out from the Pacific Ocean that has stunned both American and Mexican authorities. The United States Navy has reportedly trapped a massive drug armada connected to the Sinaloa Cartel worth an estimated $473 million in illegal narcotics. According to multiple intelligence sources, this was one of the most daring maritime operations in recent history, carried out quietly under the cover of night and kept classified until the past 24 hours. The operation began when naval surveillance aircraft detected a strange pattern of fishing vessels moving northward off the coast of Baja California. The formation was too organized, too precise, and too heavily coordinated for simple commercial traffic. Satellite data confirmed that these were not typical trawlers but modified cargo boats carrying concealed containers under their decks. The Navy command in San Diego immediately activated a special response team as the suspicion grew that the Sinaloa Cartel was attempting to move a massive load of cocaine by sea. The cartel has long used fast boats and submarines to move drugs through the Pacific corridor, but this was something new. It was an entire convoy, a floating armada made up of over a dozen vessels traveling in formation, each equipped with encrypted radio systems, night vision cameras, and military-grade engines. It was clear someone powerful had financed this fleet. The estimated value of the shipment was enough to fund cartel operations for months. The United States Navy, under the command of the Pacific Fleet, launched an operation known internally as Deep Current. Multiple destroyers and Coast Guard cutters were deployed from Hawaii and California to intercept the group at dawn. Communications between the cartel vessels suddenly went silent as American ships approached. Radar logs show that at least two of the cartel captains attempted to change course toward the Mexican coast, but it was too late. Navy aircraft had already locked positions and marked every vessel on the grid. When the naval ships made contact, they issued orders in both English and Spanish demanding the boats to stop and prepare for boarding. Instead, the cartel vessels accelerated. This triggered a pursuit that lasted nearly 5 hours through heavy ocean swells and low visibility conditions. Several of the smugglers began dumping cargo overboard in an attempt to reduce weight and escape. Navy crews recorded the entire chase with infrared cameras showing packages being thrown into the water. As the pursuit continued, one of the cartel vessels tried to ram a Coast Guard cutter, nearly causing a collision. The Coast Guard responded by firing warning shots across the bow, forcing the smugglers to halt. Finally, Navy SEALs and Coast Guard boarding teams approached the ships and secured them without any further violence. Once aboard, they discovered an enormous cache of drugs hidden under layers of ice and fish crates. The total amount seized was later estimated at more than 9 tons of cocaine, equivalent to $473 million on the street. That discovery shocked even seasoned law enforcement officials. The cartel had attempted to disguise the shipment as a commercial fishing convoy, hoping to blend in with legitimate traffic in international waters. Investigators believe the operation was organized by one of the Sinaloa factions loyal to the late boss Joaquin Guzman El Chapo, but executed by younger commanders who have recently expanded the routes deeper into the Pacific using high-tech equipment and satellite maps purchased on the black market. According to defense sources, the interception was not random. It was the result of a 6-month joint investigation involving the Navy, the D, and Mexican intelligence agencies. Analysts had been tracking encrypted communications between cartel operatives discussing the movement of a quote large cargo headed north. In mid-September, that message triggered a chain of monitoring events that ultimately led to the identification of the Armada. After the seizure, Navy engineers spent days examining the vessels. They found hidden compartments reinforced with steel plates, advanced fuel systems designed for long-range travel, and secret cabins built for armed guards. One of the boats even contained a drone launch pad, suggesting the cartel planned to use drones for scouting American patrol zones. This level of sophistication has raised concerns that the Sinaloa network may be collaborating with foreign technicians, possibly from Central or South America. When the news broke earlier today, officials in Washington praised the Navy for what they called a textbook interception. Defense Secretary officials stated that the operation prevented hundreds of millions of dollars worth of narcotics from reaching American cities. The White House released a brief statement commending the teamwork between the Navy and the Coast Guard, while Mexican authorities quietly confirmed that several of the captured crew members are citizens of Sinaloa and Jalisco with known ties to previous smuggling cases. In the hours following the seizure, investigators began questioning the detained crew. According to leaked reports, at least 2 suspects admitted that their convoy was bound for a secret rendezvous point near the California coast, where another ship was waiting to transfer the drugs into smaller fast boats. From there, the narcotics would be split between California and Oregon distribution hubs. This revelation confirmed long-held suspicions that the cartel has been expanding its West Coast network beyond traditional border crossings. But the most surprising development came after the arrest, when intelligence analysts discovered that one of the captured communication devices contained direct messages from a cartel financier known only by the alias Sal Nublato. The messages included payment confirmations and navigation instructions for each vessel. Investigators are now trying to trace those digital signals, which could expose one of the highest levels of the cartel command structure. Local sources in Sinaloa have since reported increased tension within cartel circles. Several commanders have gone into hiding, fearing retaliation from rival factions who lost millions in the failed operation. Meanwhile, Mexican Marines have increased patrols around Mazatlan and Culiqui ports, expecting potential reprisals. The situation is described as volatile, with intelligence pointing to internal conflict among cartel members, blaming each other for the loss. American naval officers have remained cautious about releasing too many operational details. They acknowledge that the Navy has increased surveillance over the Pacific smuggling corridor using unmanned aircraft, submarines, and satellite tracking. The goal is to prevent any future attempt of this scale from reaching the continental United States. Experts say this operation could mark a turning point in the long-running war between transnational cartels and maritime law enforcement. Former DEA agents commented that the interception proves how much the cartel has evolved from land-based trafficking to sophisticated maritime logistics. According to them, each year more criminal groups are investing in naval technology, hiring former sailors and building stealth boats capable of traveling thousands of miles undetected. But this recent interception shows that American intelligence remains one step ahead. As of tonight, the seized vessels are being held at a secure naval base for forensic inspection. Every piece of equipment will be analyzed to uncover further intelligence. The crew members face extradition and federal charges, including narcotics trafficking, conspiracy, and maritime smuggling. If convicted, they could face sentences exceeding life in prison. Analysts predict the Sinaloa Cartel will attempt to recover its losses by increasing shipments through smaller routes using semi-submersible submarines. These miniature submarines have been detected in the Pacific before, carrying smaller but frequent loads. Authorities are preparing for a wave of such attempts over the next few months. The DEA and the Coast Guard are already coordinating expanded patrols with allied navies in the region. Local communities along the Mexican coast have reacted with mixed emotions. While some celebrate the Navy's success, others fear that the crackdown will spark more violence as cartels seek revenge. Reports from Sinaloa suggest that cartel enforcers have begun hunting for leaks within their organization, suspecting that someone provided intelligence to American forces. Officials, however, refuse to confirm or deny the presence of informants, citing ongoing security operations. International media have picked up the story, portraying it as one of the largest naval drug busts of the decade. It highlights how the battle against organized crime has moved far beyond traditional borders and now plays out across oceans. Intelligence officers emphasize that constant cooperation between nations will be crucial in dismantling these maritime trafficking systems. As we close this report, it is clear that this interception has sent a strong message across the criminal underworld. The era of large cartel armadas may be coming to an end under the watchful eyes of global surveillance networks. Still, experts caution that cartels are adaptive, resourceful, and ruthless. They will look for new routes, new tactics, and new ways to challenge the law. For now, the United States Navy stands firm in its statement that no illegal vessel can move freely across the Pacific under American watch. The success of this operation not only prevents a flood of narcotics from reaching American communities but also exposes the dangerous scale of cartel ambitions and the lengths they will go to evade capture. Thank you all for watching. Remember to subscribe and like my videos for more verified breaking news stories from around the world. Stay alert, stay informed, and see you in the next update.